Nowadays, I don't trust anyone. I mean, like with anybody, like everyone is wrong about something. I'm not saying I'm always right about everything. I'm just saying that like I never agree with everyone that I know on everything. There are very few people I agree with on most things. And that it's like I when I was a kid, I would just go to church and watch some televangelists, and I would it'd be I feel safe in that bubble. I'm still Christian. I'm just saying that like nowadays it's like now that I'm awake, like these churches, I can see them for what they are now. I don't even go anymore because I already had a falling out with the main church I used to go to like a while ago. I went there for 12 years. And I went to school there for 5 years. But I basically um, I don't trust anybody. They're all in it for something. None of them are preaching the agendas on like how we're leading to the satanic one world government and religion. I mean, there are churches that do that, but there aren't any near me. I live in New Jersey. It's a pretty secular state, and the churches here are. They're all. I don't think there is one non 501c3 church in New Jersey. I tried. I was looking for it. I couldn't find one. I saw the list, and there wasn't any. I couldn't find it. And every church now has become like either like they promote like the SJW stuff, or they're pro like NASA, or and Televangelists too. Same thing goes for them. Or they're pre-trib. That's always been a thing. Like things that don't line like either don't line up with what the Bible says, or like they're catering today like to the narratives of what's going on right now, or what they tell us is going on. And that's a major problem. And I know there are like certain churches in other states that expose this stuff, like maybe like in Montana or Georgia or something. But in New Jersey, there's nothing like that. If there was a church like that here in New Jersey, I would go. I'd fellowship with those people, but there isn't. I had a lot of memories at the church I used to go to, but not all those people stayed on the right track, and a lot of them like fell for the agendas. And I just had a falling out with I had a falling out with some of those people like a long time ago, in like 2011. Anyway, I was going there since 1999, and I had memories with them. It'd be cool if I could see like a lot of them again. Like if they're not like trash people now. The ones that stayed cool. But I mean, like I've been watching that church's live stream, not a lot, but a couple times. I'm like, yeah, a few times I watched it. I'm like, what happened? What happened to this church, man? Like, totally catered. Yeah, they said something like Judah raped his daughter-in-law. That's not what happened. That's just one example, but yeah, Judah bought her for the night because she wanted to get pregnant. It's a long story. I could tell it right now, but it would take a while. It's Genesis 38. But yeah, so, and it was actually from that lineage that came like Perez and David, Solomon, Joseph, who raised Jesus. So if you go read that story, that explains how, like when it says Jesus was from the tribe of Judah, he was born into the tribe of Judah, that's what it's talking about. But yeah, that's just one example. But I'm just saying, like they become like trash, and I'm not saying that in a mean way, but a lot of these churches do that. Or and I went to another one that was like a prosperity church, and immediately like I was squirming in my seat in the church in like 2014. He was talking about like weight loss or something. I mean, it's good to like stay in shape and eat healthy and all that, but I was like, is this church? But whatever. I'm just giving examples, and this guy, he was actually on. I saw him on Daystar, talking about like racism. But he was talking about like he said something like Martin Luther King said that the most racist time in America is 11 a.m. on Sunday. I'm like, really? Did he say that? If he did, like that's the number one most racist time. I don't know. I'm just asking. But is it? I'm asking. I wouldn't have guessed that. But yeah, but he would in his prosperity church. He'd be like, the Bible says not to give 5%, but 10%. So he's like asking for money. I think they got that from Abraham giving 10%. I don't think the Bible actually says like you have to give this much. I don't think it says that, but you can check it. And another thing they don't preach is like when in Genesis 1 where it says the waters are separated into two, like water of the heavens, water of the sea via the firmament. A lot of people say like, oh, the flood destroyed that, but it doesn't actually say that. I'm pretty sure in Psalms it says that the firmament shows God's handiwork, saying that it's still there, so it didn't go anywhere. Pretty sure. You know that August Picard commercial? Not that he broke through it really, but like I think that's what it is. But I think it's stronger than that. But like no, I don't think you could just break through it. Like Operation Fishbowl. Where they said they were shooting missiles into space. That's not what they were shooting missiles at. Think about it, Operation Fishbowl. They were shooting it at the firmament. None of these churches talk about this. There are like very, very few. But like the number of people actually seeking the truth nowadays, it's very scarce. And it's very troubling. It's not good. This is a problem. I don't know what to do about it personally. You could read August Picard's story in Time magazine, but they don't really talk about it anymore, do they? Was he the first? They say he was the first person to reach the stratosphere or something. Can someone tell me, like, if a rocket's being sent into space and, like, we're in a galaxy moving 1,300,000 miles per hour and the Earth's moving over 66,000 miles per hour around the sun and then spinning 1,045 miles an hour in its daily cycles, how does a rocket leave and not get, like, whipped out into space where like everyone on the rocket dies and the rocket's never seen again? And don't just say like, oh, the rocket scientists figured it out. Like actually give me a good explanation for that and how we don't feel all that spinning and moving and don't get motion sickness. I'd really love to hear that. And how come no churches are talking about that? And they still believe all that stuff. That's not right, man. This whole world is so messed up. So many lies. Can't trust anybody. Nobody believes the truth. People hate the truth. They're too scared of fighting against the majority. People love these movies like 12 Angry Men where like someone stands up to the majority, and it is a good message, but it's a feel-good fictional movie that like people love seeing it, but in real life they're actually just like the jurors before they change their minds. That's them in real life, and they don't change. And that movie's unrealistic. Like, at most, he might have gotten, like, a couple people to change their mind, and that's it. I don't think it's realistic. Pretty good movie, not realistic. It's a feel-good movie. So many people say they love it, but they would never follow that movie in real life. That's why they love it so much, because they're too scared to do it. Anyway, what was I talking about? But yeah, it's messed up. I'm not saying like church always has to be like talking about those topics. Like, obviously read from the Bible. I'm not saying don't, but churches should be allowed to say whatever they want, though. Like preaching the truth. That's a problem. That they can't. But yeah, I live in New Jersey. Don't have a church to go to that I trust. And I obviously don't watch the Televangelists. They're all controlled opposition. They all preach like the NASA stuff and the SJW stuff and the pre-trib stuff. Just stay away from it. Didn't it say Jesus stood on the Mount of Olives the day the rapture happens in Zechariah 14 to end the tribulation? And in Matthew 24 doesn't say then, like after the Antichrist declares himself God on the Temple Mount. It's after that. Pretty sure. And it talks about the elect being gathered from the four winds. That's the rapture, right? Because in Galatians 3, we talk about the elect. Like, it says Jesus fulfilled God's promise to Abraham. Doesn't it say that? Just like it started off being Abraham's blood descendants and the tribes of Israel and all that. Like, back then, those were the godly people back then. But the promise was symbolic. Because Paul literally said this in Galatians 3, that Jesus fulfilled God's promise to Abraham. Because the pre-trib people, they say the elect being gathered from the four winds is just like the 144,000 Jews in Revelation being gathered, but I don't think that makes sense, unless I missed something. But like I'm not perfect. I don't have the whole Bible figured out, but like I don't trust anybody anymore. I gotta just read what it says. Like I might not be right now. Like I don't have it all figured out. Like I just said. Like every time I read it, I notice something else. Because I read the whole Bible, but I don't have it all figured out. And also, this is a long topic, but the King James Version is like the only version I fully trust. So I think the Vatican like tried to ban it. Do you think the Vatican's the whore of Babylon in Revelation? 7 mountains. It sounds like it's the Rome area, or in Rome. Wears purple, scarlet, and gold. That's like what the priests wear there. The bride of Christ is a woman. The whore of Babylon's a woman. So it's woman symbolism. So they're both churches. But the whore of Babylon rises the dragon, which is Satan, right? So it's a satanic church. Yeah. This is worship false idols. Like that's like Mary, like the Blessed Mother. Which she is. She's Jesus' mother, but she's not like they pray to her and stuff, and like she's a goddess. Also, they have like paintings of false idols in the Vatican basement. You can see it on the website. Like, and Lucifer's one of them. Satan. What? Why would you have that? If you're a church, you're a Christian. Why would you have that? Also, was there this fornication? That's like the pedophilia, and also the gay drug-fueled orgies that the Vatican police busted bishops for doing, that I posted on Facebook when it happened in like 2016 or something, and no one cared. No one cares. I'm just asking questions. I don't have Revelation figured out. I just want to know. Are any churches like good with this? Oh no, you gotta buy David Jeremiah Rabbi Schneider's books, because they figured it all out. David Jeremiah said that, he said, the United States isn't in Revelation or in the Bible because of the rapture. What? You're telling me the United States is mostly Christian? Could have fooled me. And also Rabbi Schneider, I remember he in in 2016 he was like, oh, tonight I'm gonna do a live stream, I'm gonna like tell you everything in Revelation. I'm like, oh sweet, like cool, because I used to like sort of watch that stuff back then, and then I stopped. I'm about to tell you why. That night I told my friend too, I'm like, we gotta watch this live stream. And then he said something, he barely talked, and then said, oh, I ran out of time. If you want to find out more, you got to buy my book Revelation Decoded, but this isn't about selling a book. I was like, what? Also, David Jeremiah was like, the sun's 93 million miles away. I'm like, dude. Joel Osteen and Joyce Meyer, and like the spinning ball earth behind them. I could go on and on. I could go on and on. Robert Jeffress said that like the Bible. What do you say? He's like, it says in the Bible that like none of these prophecies need to be fulfilled for the rapture to happen. I'm like, it can happen at any moment. It doesn't say that. I read the whole thing. I couldn't find it. I even Googled that specific verse and I couldn't find it. He lied to people on TV, man. And I told somebody that, and they were like, oh, you maybe just didn't hear it correctly. And I was like, what? I heard what he said. The disrespect, man. Nobody trusts me. I'm not saying I have it all figured out, but like, I want to go to a church that's preaching this stuff. Non-501c3, preaching truth, exposing the satanic agendas. That's what I want. And if I can't like find a church, just find like people like you guys that know this stuff. And I've seen Rabbi Schneider and that Youssef guy, and like people say like, oh, on the planet or around the globe and all this stuff. It doesn't say in Psalm 93, and there's another psalm that says the world's foundation is firmly established and cannot be moved. It doesn't say that the Levites that rebelled against Moses and Aaron, they fell into a fissure. They fell into hell. Like, I know it's a spiritual place, but the spiritual and physical realms are connected. Like our souls or spirits, that's spiritual. But the reason like I can see you and you can see me is because of our physical bodies. So they're connected. But anyway, yeah, this went on for a while. I'm just looking for people that are like-minded. You're not alone. If you like know what I'm talking about, you're not alone. You know, the satanic secret societies are controlling everything. They're controlling I think they're controlling a lot of these churches. They're definitely controlling the televangelists, like easily. And it's a problem. Like I said, but I had to get that off my chest. I'm like, I can't just go my whole life and like not say anything. I'm just asking questions. I have questions. Okay, and I want to learn more, but I don't trust anybody. I don't have like a mentor that knows all this stuff. Because like all these people like I thought I trusted and stuff I looked up to, they don't believe all this stuff, and it's disappointing. I mean, we were force-fed lies since birth, because we were born into like the system created by the satanic elite that I just talked about. But I mean, it was kind of like we had no choice. But I'm like, how do we need to find each other? Like the people seeking the truth, we're all scattered, and I want to meet like-minded people, because they're not in my personal life for the most part. Like I'm trying to find. I see you guys in the comments, and I'm liking your comments when you say like, oh, like the planets are just lights, they're just stars. That's what it looks like. The sun and the moon. When the moon just happens to be the right size to cover the sun during an eclipse, but the sun's like it's way bigger and it's like almost 93 million miles away, and the moon's like way closer. It just happens to be the right size though to cover the sun during an eclipse. I could go on and on about this, man, but like if I just say it is what it looks like, and like the sun's light for the day, moon's light for the night. The sun's like a brighter version of the moon. That's what it looks like from our point of view. If you keep zooming in with the telescope at the ocean, you keep bringing more of the ocean into view. I'm I'm just telling you what it is, man. Like like, don't get mad at me just for pointing stuff out. I have questions. I know we've been lied to. I don't trust anybody. I'm very alone, and I'm trying to meet other people that are similar to me. Well, this went on for 20 minutes. Yeah. This could go on for like an hour. I'm just... Man, people... The agendas are being amped up. We're in the labor pains leading into the tribulation. I don't know how soon it is. I'm just saying, like, it's... I feel like this is that. This could also be the falling away. Could be. I don't know if the revival is during the Great Tribulation when the multitudes get saved. I don't know if that is the revival or what, but I don't know. But we need to find like-minded people. I know other people have found these like-minded people, but I'm in New Jersey. It's a pretty secular state, so it's hard to find. I can't really go anywhere right now, so that's why I'm trying to like meet like-minded people. So help. Let's be friends. If you're similar to me and you got these questions too, and you're seeking the truth, and you feel like you're alone, even if you don't feel like you're alone, if you know other people, hey, let's fellowship, right? Because the world's going down right now, and it's not stopping. It's a downhill spiral. We need to stick. I feel like we need to like find each other and stick together, even if it's just on the internet. But yeah, let me know, like, if you know what I'm talking about and you agree. That'd be pretty cool if I could meet other people like me. Cause the people in my life, they ain't it. Like, no offense, but like I'm alone, and they're not fighting for the truth. Like, maybe in some of them in some areas, but they're not all in. It's not all their fault, because we've been, like I said, we've been brainwashed since birth. But with the TV and school and like the churches and televangelists like not preaching all of the truth, like that's they do on purpose. They give you some truth, mix it with lies, and then we're all brainwashed, right? So but I have questions like everybody else. I know no one like has all of Revelation figured out like David Jeremiah does, but and what's that guy, Rabbi Schneider, they have it all figured out apparently. I'm just kidding, guys. Jesus said there would be false prophets. We could tell them by their fruits. He told us that, right? So where you guys at? Let me know. Man, 23 minutes. All right, but seriously, let me know where you guys are at. You're not alone.